Hi all, so I'm back for another Wednesday video, and excuse my messy white paper area here, but I've been doing a lot of painting and what have you. So I'm gonna work really fast because I want to squeeze this video in and get as much as I can in this like 15 or 20 minutes that is ideal for me to be doing this video. Anyway, so we haven't done a jelly printing video over here in a little while, so I thought I would jelly print with you guys, show you what I'm doing lately. So I've been working on tissue paper, and I mean dollar store tissue paper. And I was really hesitant because I'm really funny about my papers. So I'm using onion skin, you guys know that, and using different types of vellums and stuff. And the other day I just said, you know what, let me just try this tissue paper. You know, I was at the end of a jelly printing session and I didn't care if it stuck to the plate, because generally it will stick to the plate if your papers are too thin. But I happen to have this tissue paper that I got from the dollar store that is matte on one side, but it is glossy on the other. So that's the kind you want to look for. So when you go to the dollar store, buy a few packs and look for the paper inside that's flat on one side, like you expect tissue paper, but the little glossy on the other. Sometimes it comes in packs with other color papers in there. And sometimes those papers are good for doing glazing. And then sometimes you can find full packs with whites, but you can find a lot of white in those mixtures. And those they work brilliantly. So this is just a few of some of the things I did. I've already been using them in some of my collages. So I'm gonna show you how I kind of did this patterning, but fun, yummy colors. And I just kind of played with the full sheets, just printing them all up. And then I'll show you, I use them back in some of my my collage book. My 365 is a collage. So, you know, I do this over on my studio school in Art Mythos. We've been doing this for a year, and it's just like, you know, a whole year of doing our journaling and what have you. So when we're done, this book is going to be complete. It's going to be full, and actually it's nearly full now. So I probably will be starting another one before the year is up. But this, I'm gonna show you how I did this one. This is actually a jelly print on the tissue paper, yay. And this is another one where I just kind of played with neutrals, but it was on the tissue paper, and then I did a collaging on it. So I do full videos over, obviously in Art Mythos, and of course in Patreon. Patreon is just $10 a month. We do about 8 full videos over there. But I just know I want to come to you guys too, so you can sort of see what I'm doing and take advantage of some of these techniques. So I'm gonna go fast. I'll talk my whole way through it like I normally do. But if you want to see the full thing, what have you, and other ways that I'm doing with this, you can always just join me over on Patreon. It's just $10 a month, so it's not like a big investment. Okay, so first of all, to do this one, let's do that one first. Okay, so basically what I did was the magazine transfer. So we're going to do that first. I rolled out this color, the Blick Matte Dark Deep Blue, which is a blue that's also kind of have like green in it. Now I also have other like black and stuff on my plate, so some of that's going to transfer, but I don't care, because I'm really not trying to go for as much of a perfect print as I am just wanting to get that background print down first. And you know, I like my stuff a little grungy and a little wonky, so I like to go for a quality print that's not, I'm not going for perfection here. I'm going for a nice background. So we'll use this one. I just happen to have this here. This has got good contrast, so we'll put her down. Slid a little bit. So you guys have seen this. Is a number of, excuse me, my nose is a little runny because I have allergies. It's that time of year. But anyhow, you've seen this photo transfer, magazine transfer, sometimes it's called Andy Warhol pop art, you know, any of that. But the trick is just to put a very thin layer of a dark color down. You don't want it thick. You don't want it too thin. Okay, so we're going to pull this off. Yeah, and there's the print left behind. Now, in this case, I can tell that I have a little bit too much ink on there, paint on there, because it's just the way, just a slight bit much, but nothing that really bothers me, because I kind of want this sort of smushed background. You'll see. So we're going to let this dry. I wish I could speed this up, but I can't. So we just kind of have to patiently let this dry. Let me just see if I can fan it a bit. Because this technique is basically a double pull on the tissue using a secondary color. Let me get a different brayer out because I don't want to mix in the colors. Okay, so we're going to put our second color down, which is going to be quinacridone Ozo Gold. And we'll just come up with this really yummy print. And you could any kind of print down. I like using it as a background like I did for the collage that I did in the book. So the whole point for me was to kind of do it as a collage. The Blick matte acrylic, it dries pretty fast too. So that's all the nice thing about that one. So we're going to put this thin layer of the quinacridone Ozo Gold. And then we're going to get our tissue paper, putting the shiny side or the slick side down. The side that has the coating on it, that's the side you want to put down. Just get a good rub on it and then just pull it right off. No extra fooling around. I even have a ghost on there. So I can pull this again. But it's amazing how this really does hold up. Look at that. So, I'm sorry, you can't see it all. So that's the first print. And see how the way that this particular color goes, and when you have a little extra on there, see how you get all the smudge and smears? And I like that. So this isn't the point of this technique is not to get the really pristine, clean pull. We can do that just by putting a nice thin layer down. This wouldn't do it as well. I find that this Blick matte is a little bit too heavy body. So we use something that has a little bit more transparent, this a little thinner, but they work brilliantly for this technique because you just get all this extra old wall stuff that I like, all this extra, and you still get a little imagery there. I like the fact you really can't tell what the image is. Like in mine, it was also a girl and it said Bulgari on the bottom. You can see Bulgari, but it's so muted. And the way I did the collage, you really don't notice it. And that's what I was going through, like all this background, this old wall looking stuff. So that's one quick one there. And let me just see, let's pull. So I wanted to show you that, and that picked up beautifully. So that's just those two colors. And I'm going to put down, let me use the color shift orange. Now these color shifts are by Folk Art. They're obviously a lot cheaper, but they're a great translucent color. And I'll show you what they do. And they'll pick up. The trick also to working with the tissue paper is don't leave it on there long. Thin layer and don't, once you kind of lay it down, and now I'm just picking up the ghost and the rest of the stuff that's on this plate. Like this, just pull it right up. Don't delay. So we got a little extra material there, but look at that. So that's just a nice thin print in which we're going to do some more work on top of. Okay. So now let's go back and we're going to play with this tissue paper so you can really see what it does. So let's put this as the red flash in the Folk Art. Love these paints. Kind of keep an eye on the time so that, because me, you guys know I kind of go long before I know it's like 40 minutes. So this is just some paper that I have that already had these kind of, it's made, I think it's some of that, paper from India. So here again, just lay that down. And so now I'm going to pick up the pattern, which are these sort of holes. And see how we get that really beautiful print on top of that. And on this really thin tissue paper, when you go to work with it, it is a dream. So now I'm going to take the second sheet and pick up the pattern that's on the plate right now. So basically I'm going to just get it down there and pull it up, and we're still getting, oh yay, we're still getting some of the material that, you know, the information that was already down there from the photo transfer that we pulled. And you guys know I like all of that build up. So these thin layers just keep coming up. And let me see, let's put down, I like this metallic, this blue ice as well, which is also a folk art. All these you can get from these paints, either from Walmart has a lot of this, and Michael's and Joann's. So any of those stores, we have those locally. Otherwise, look for folk art. And I understand, like in UK, in Europe, there it's under Plaid, because I have some students that are over there, and they keep me up on what similar products are there. So it's Plaid. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a part of that, because now we're just building pattern. See? So, and then let's just take some of this and just, you know, just really quick layers. See how we're building. It's kind of hard to see because we're going to be seeing more shine from the metallic. But what's nice is that we can build up these very, very thin layers like that. And let's put this, let me see. Let's put this teal on there. So we're building up these thin layers of color on tissue paper. So we really have, you have these really beautiful thin layers to collage with, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and layer that blue over this one. And see, I'm just really putting it down and lifting it up pretty quickly. Here it's okay. It's not going to stick because I have a layer of paper between it. So we're good there. So I can really push it in there and get that blue, pick it up. See how yummy? And we just keep on building up. I'm trying to get it closer so you guys can see. Let it focus. Look at all those great layers on dollar store tissue paper. And then just using your PVA, it just goes down so beautifully. Let's pick this up with another piece. And you could just do this all day and truly build up some really incredible papers for collaging and working other patterns in. Look at that. See how, and you can really see a lot of detail. And so when you really go to collage with this, I'm putting it close so you can see it. When you go to collage with this, my friends, it is just beautiful. So I want to go with some gold. Actually, I'm gonna do a dark layer of this black flash. I love this color. This is folk art as well. So let's put some of this down. And the way I get this nice and muted, I can get some out, is, oh, come on, is I use that paper from Indonesia. What I like about it is that it's going to absorb, because this can be pretty dark, this black flash. You really want to make sure you get really thin layers. Any of this, you want thin layers. We don't want a lot of color on there. But what I do like about this is that a lot of this color is going to absorb on the back of this paper. But what's nice about it is it still leaves a pattern both ways. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to stagger it this way and put some of this over top of this print. I think that makes the fourth layer that we've done on this. And that just gives this a little bit more intensity. Wow, look at that. Yummy. Oh my goodness, look how organic it is and beautiful. And this is still all on the thin paper. Okay, so now let's just take and overlay this print on top of this one. Because remember, this is going to be slightly darker version. And with that blue underneath it, look how it popped. See? really popped. It's gorgeous. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Golden's Iridescent Bronze, and I'm gonna do the same pattern. Oh, can't use a lot. Thin layers, Robin. The trick is thin layers. Okay, so back to this. And now the way I'm going to make that print really pop is I'm going to do the gold dotting over top of the black flash and the teal, because this blue is called, what is this? This is Aqua Flash. So let's get the gold over top of this. And this is going to really give it a lot of depth to this print. Look at that. Look how much depth is in this print, but yet it's, you know, I'll show you better in a minute. Let's get this off of here. And then what I want to do is I want to take this and put it over top of this print right here. So we can pick up this gold. And that's going to give us 4 prints very quickly, working with, and the more paint you put on here, the little longer you can leave it down to pull up, because the paper is getting thicker. But look at that. I'm putting it close enough. Hopefully you guys can see. Come on, focus. See that? A lot of pattern, a lot of dimension. And the crazy thing about it is that, so let's look at these closely. It's all on tissue paper. And this just collages so nicely. So I think next week when I come back, we'll do some collaging with the tissue paper, and I can show you how beautifully it works. But look at this color palette. Let me just get a white piece of paper. It's easier when it's not my messy desk underneath it. Okay, look at that one. Look at the colors. Beautiful. You can see lots of layers and texture on such thin paper. Even look at the dots over here that we did in the beginning. This right here, of course, is the magazine pool. So you can use any kind of dark blue, dark green, dark or black, or Payne's gray, and then use the Golden's Quinacridone Ozo Gold over it, and you get this coloration, which I love. And then we have this one. That's yummy. And that gold, and that gold over top of it just gives it the right amount of pop. And then, of course, collaging with this and using this as backgrounds in our art is just incredible. But aqua is gorgeous. And then the last one that we did, so we did 3 real quick, was this one. And this is just gorgeous. So you can see the dots there, you know, from the Punchella, this other pattern, this organic pattern, the undercoating. So these are gorgeous. And then, just so you know me, I do not throw anything away. I still hold on to these with the little images underneath them, and I collage with them. So I'm going to show you my Jelly Junkadory, which I do over on Patreon. This is an ongoing. See, I mean, I love journaling. You guys probably know that by now. And so I have a different journal going on over there. So, I mean, I just journal all year long, all these little yummy pockets, but all of these are tutorials over on Patreon, every one of these pages. So, but this one is actually the magazine print. Let me see if I can get this thing to focus yet. Only if I cover this up, it focuses better. So that's just a glazed print, a horse and a woman. And then I took and made, let me just pull something out of here. I made a pocket right here. And that's another glazed print, jelly print, with my intuitive scripting. I'll try to get this to, there you go. And then I just used some, you know, tea stained paper as like a little journaling spot there. But really the whole idea is that this print sort of stands alone. I liked it, and it's kind of hard to get it to focus. I have all this light from my softbox, so it's kind of hard to appreciate it. You can look at it with all of this light shining on it. It really does. It's so subtle and beautiful. And then this is like a little writing spot. So I definitely use these back in collaging, especially in your junk journals. These are ideal for the junk journal because they're not anything special, but it's still paint on there and an image. And how cool is that just to be able to put back and use it as pockets, use it as interesting backgrounds. Like I could continue to collage on top of this if I wanted to. Like I could continue and, do something maybe more complex where you have the background, you have your fold out, you have an envelope, or, you could do more. Pockets with ephemera in it. I wanted to keep that one simple because I wanted to remember this whole process, because a lot of times with my journals, I keep them as ideas for other things that I want to do. So all of this, I have full tutorials over on Patreon and then my Art Mythos, but this is straightforward enough that you guys could just jump right in, get yourself some dollar store tissue paper and just go forward. And then just collaging with these are just crazy. All right. Once again, thanks a lot. If you like this video, please thumb it up. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Love you all. Thanks a lot. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.